Alrighty, snowplowers, welcome back to another episode of Plow Wars. It's gonna be fun. So I'm gonna pop up these comments because I had a few comments from the last video. I promised you guys that I would be responding to comments off the last one, so I'm just gonna look at it real quick. So, BPDPD, we have Jake Meredith. He's saying, can you make the grader and your log trailers for console? Sorry, buddy. We're trying. We got stuff that's coming for it. What else we got on here? We're looking for subjects and things to talk about while we play on this map. So we got talk about upcoming mods. So I'm going to try to remember to talk about some of the upcoming plans. Let's see here. What else we got? Mark Clark says he thinks we need to change the name of the Amarok chip loader to the Amarok snow shovel, which is actually probably true because we use it for snow more than we do chips these days. Isn't that true? Brandon's World of Fun. He says we should bury some of the equipment out in the snow and dig our way to one of them and try to rescue it. I actually kind of like that idea, and I'm going to see what we can do there. I might go crash something into the woods, and we can have some fun with that. Let's see here. Metric Gamer says we should... oh, maybe we were checking our tires for leaks. Yeah, exactly. We're always checking our tires for leaks in this game. David Genther, can't pronounce your last name, sorry, says snow plowing mods would be cool. He says something about Oshkosh trucks make the best snow removal. So I'm gonna have to look into Oshkosh trucks and see what those are all about. So yeah, I think we're just gonna keep plowing along here because we're doing a pretty good job so far. Yeah, as far as upcoming mods, because that's always the subject most people want to hear about, is what's coming up for the modding side of things. There's not a whole lot of stuff to do with snow plowing, if we're referencing snow plowing. Lots of stuff on the logging side still coming. I have some ideas for stuff I would like to use for the snow plowing. Definitely some larger bulldozers that push a lot more snow. That's definitely one. But I'm trying to focus our efforts a little bit more on the logging side for now, just because my time's kind of limited. When winter, or like September kind of wintry time gets here, I'll definitely be abusing that stuff a lot more. But for the time being, yeah, no, we're sticking kind of to the logging side. But one thing I would like to be able to make is kind of like a giant truck that's like a snow plower truck that has like a snow blower on the side of it or something like that, just for fun. I don't know. I'm gonna make all kinds of weird stuff and see what we can do. But I'm trying to think of something that I can make for both the snow plowing side that can also reference over to the logging side, so that I can kind of offer cool stuff on both ends of the spectrum. Because like this machine, like I said, although we think we should call it the snow plower, it works amazing for chips as well as snow plowing. So it's kind of cool because you can do both worlds with this guy. I would like to make, if I do make another thing for snow plowing, I would definitely like to make something that can be just as good for wood chips or doing that kind of stuff as well. So we'll see what happens. A lot of people were trying to get me into the conveyor side of things, like doing conveyor type systems. I haven't actually played around with them very much, so I don't understand them quite yet, but definitely something I'm thinking about looking at. Or automated conveyor belts kind of thing. So I might tear apart some of the original Giants mods and see what we can build, but we'll see. With 2019 kind of only a few months away now, I'm kind of just slowing down on the modding a little bit, because when we get into the new game, it's going to be a whole new world of modding, because apparently they changed the engine up quite a bit, or the editor up quite a bit. So modding will be a lot different. There's going to be some definite new stuff going on that we'll have to relearn and hopefully get good at. So we'll see. Maybe it'll be really hard. Maybe it'll take a long time. I don't know. Definitely right off the bat, there's not going to be a lot of FDR logging mods like right out the gate. Obviously, everybody wants to be first for putting out mods, because obviously if you're first, that's the best choice. But this time around, I don't want to rush it. I felt 2017 I rushed the mods way too hard, and they weren't ready, and they looked kind of crappy, and they were just kind of basic. And then I went back with the V12 pack and really changed everything around and made it a lot better. Still not 100% perfect to what I would want, but they're a lot better. So this time around, when we're modding, oh, we had another dead zone in the snow. Weird. So we'll just trek over the dead zone. But yeah, so this time around, like I was explaining on our live stream and a couple other places when we did it, I want to do something that's a lot more professional of a job. I want to get proper interiors built for these things instead of just sticking random crap in them. You know, I want to make it look really good. I want all the model itself to be baked really well and look decent. So yeah, like right out the bat, there's not going to be a lot of great mods for FDR stuff. It'll probably be about a month out or longer before we can get everything all the way we want it. And I want to rebake the models and do good textures. And one question that keeps coming up is if John Deere is licensed in the new game, will I be doing John Deere logging equipment, like with logos? Yes, I think I will. I don't really know. Like, I know I was just having this conversation with the guys last night. I know John Deere forestry is licensed differently than the farming stuff, so I don't know if if it'll be allowed or not, like if I try to submit it to console. What I'm thinking of doing, and I've said it in the past where people said don't put branding on the equipment, make your own brands kind of thing. I think I'm just gonna make branded equipment in the new one, like when I go to 2019. If I do it good enough, I think it'll be fine. And then it'll be the same thing as before, like when I had when I was doing Patreon stuff and there was like money involved. And Giants recently, you know, said that whole like, don't do that anymore. Everything has to be public, which I was fine with. I had no problem with that because they told me and they gave me a notice takedown kind of thing, which is fine. I think I'm just gonna do the same with the other situation with the branding there. I think what I'll do is I'm going to put out branded equipment, and if one of those companies steps up and says, hey, stop, take our logos off the equipment, then I'll do it. That's kind of what I think I'm going to do. Because I'm getting kind of tired of making up imaginary names for equipment that I know exists. And I think so are other people. People want actual legit stuff. And I see how many other people are doing branded equipment, and I've never heard a peep out of anybody caring, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. Until I get a notice and takedown, which will probably happen, but whatever. That's my plan anyway. I think the names of this equipment, all this stuff, it's all going to retire. But on console, I won't be able to do any equipment that's not licensed. So if Chad starts being able to put out machines, which it looks like they're really close to doing, looks like the Sabertooth is going to make it to console here pretty quick. We'll need to remove the branding off of it if it's not already in the game. So if John Deere's in the game, I'm pretty sure we could have like a John Deere logo on something. But I don't know. It might get rejected by Giants. I don't know. We're going to try and see how it goes. But if it gets rejected, I mean, what do? You have to just go back and take all the logos off, I guess. That's kind of why I'm going to try to... well, I have a new process I'm using for baking textures, and I just tried it on the new self-loader truck that I'm working on, and the textures turn out amazing. They look great. They transfer over really great. So I think I'm gonna stick to that process. But the one thing I haven't tried doing is putting logos on the vehicles, because the way the textures get baked on is kind of a lot different than before, which is good because less people will be able to screw with the logos on the trucks, which will be great. But I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do that yet. What I would like to do is get, and we have that Bobcat Logger guy who's kind of just started working with us on some stuff. He's making some 3D logos and stuff for the machines. So I was thinking about maybe baking the machine bodies with no logos on them and then just adding the 3D logos after the fact kind of thing. So, well, we'll see how it goes. And we're really off the beaten trail here with this snow. But But yeah, I don't know, lots of cool things coming. Like I said, 2019 is kind of on the verge of coming out here in the next few months, so we'll just kind of tippy-toe around the subject until we have an exact word on what's going to happen. But it should be fun. I think it'll be fun. And if it's not fun, we'll make it fun. That's how it works. But I figure we've been doing this long enough. We have a pretty good, in my opinion, a very good following. I know we had a few rough years with FDR Logging, with the whole crappy mods and incomplete mods and error mods and all that stuff. But I personally think, and I feel it in the comments and in the likes and in the respect people have for it, that we've really turned the brand around for quality. Like, it's a lot better than it's ever been. Obviously, it's not 100% perfect, but when you're pumping out mods as fast as I have been, you know, they can't all be 100%, which is something I want to change in the new game. So in 2019, the mods will not be coming out as fast as they do now. Like I said, right now I have it set so it's like every Friday there's a new mod coming out. For now, I mean, but I can't keep up that pace forever. It just doesn't last, right? Because I'm one man, not a giant modding team, so it's a lot of work to try to get that done. And in the new game, I would like to actually take my time on it and do a really good, proper job. So that's kind of the goal, and that's the aim that I have right now for the future of FDR Logging. And I want to make it good, you know. I understand there was a lot of rocky subjects and rocky years of bad mods and stuff. Oops, oh, that's weird. I really want to turn it around. I think it's I think we have a really good community, a lot of great guys, a lot of really good support for some really good people, and I want to keep it that way. But it's up to me to you know, anything you work on in your life, any hobby, any brand, any company, any business, it's exactly what you put into it. So if you want to make it as good as you want it to be, then you can. You just have to put in the effort, and you have to put in the time, and don't cut corners, and don't be lazy, and do it proper, and it'll turn out good for you. My problem is I kind of got caught up in, like I said, when I get a base of users like you guys, and not everybody's the same, but I have a pretty big mod following that don't really care so much about the YouTube content, don't really care about the FDR Logging in general. They just want mods, they want novelty, they want machines, and that's totally fine. I mean, we're all consumers, and that's what people want. But that's kind of the group I started tailoring to. It's just like, you've now created a machine of people that you have to constantly feed, or the machine breaks down, right? That's YouTube, that's consumerism, that's everything. So if you're not constantly pumping out novel content, new stuff that's, you know, always constantly every week, people get bored and then they want to leave. So I kind of got caught up in the whole thing of like, oh man, I got to keep the content coming, I got to keep the content coming, or else I'm just gonna lose everything that I've built. But during that, I found I'm putting out poorer content, like, and I'm talking mods, not so much YouTube. YouTube's kind of always the same beast, but for modding, I felt like I was just like, I became like this copy paste machine of just build a mod, paste a mod, light testing, boom, not enough time to really do much on it, move on to the next one kind of thing. Instead of like, oh, I'm gonna spend 6 to 8 weeks, you know, working on every fine detail of this bad boy before I put it out kind of thing. I would just be like, ah, that looks good, throw a cube there, cover that up, do this, you know, throw this interior from this machine in there. It doesn't look really super great. Like, even looking in this interior on this thing, like, you know, there's a little cube stuffed on the wall, you know, it's not impressive. You know, it's got a base, whatever, it's really bland and kind of, you know, not saying like in a real machine there's a whole lot of stuff going on, but it looks really basic and not super professional, right? And that's just simply me trying to bang through the mod quick enough to move on to the next one, because I just feel as though I have to keep the work coming, right? So that's gonna change. In the new game, that's gonna change. I'm going to cut that down, and now I have a little bit of a better team. So like I said, I got Chad, and we'll see how Bobcat Logger guy, he really wants to get involved, so I'm gonna get him on board as well. and I've got our multiplayer team and, you know, a bunch of really good guys that I can put this stuff with. And I really want to abuse it coming out of the gate. Like, have people test it and have people look at it and say, you know, does it look okay? It's never going to be 100%. Everybody's always going to want something different, but does it look good enough compared to, you know, professional quality stuff that's coming out? So that's kind of the name of the game right there. We'll see how it goes. We'll test the waters, but it's all about your mood towards it, right? Like, I have a really positive view of all of it. Even when mods go wrong or stuff doesn't work out the way it should, I still have a really positive go behind it. You know, like, oh, that mod didn't work out, or people didn't like it very much. It got, you know, only, you know, 5 downloads or something, and people hated it and had bad comments. I don't like break down and cry and be like, you know, I can't mod anymore because people said bad things about my mod. I just go, oh, okay, well, people don't like that, so let's steer away from that and move on to something else. But in the process of making that mod, I learned so much about, you know, modding. I learned, you know, something entirely different, or I learned what not to do, or, you know, you pick up something from every mod you make. I always remember that famous quote from this guy who said, he was making fun of these B-grade movies that come out. There's all these, like, B-grade zombie movies and, like, knockoff Transformer movies, knockoff, you know, whatever movies. He says, this director said, he's like, you know, nobody sets out to make a bad piece of art, like a bad movie, a bad game. There's always some kind of a creative drive behind it that caused that to happen. So even if that guy created that and maybe the look isn't what he wanted, he still had an idea in his mind that he wanted to make. It didn't set out to be garbage. In his mind, it was probably the best thing ever. Maybe not in everybody else's mind, but in his mind, it was the best thing ever. So when I heard that quote, I always kind of lived by that quote, because I was like, you know, the whole nobody sets out to make a bad film, or nobody sets out to make a bad piece of art. And it's totally true, because it's like, I don't think I know anybody who actually intentionally makes, like, something they know is gonna fail, like a flop of a thing. It's not a very common thing, right? So anytime I'm making mods, I have an image in my head of what I would like it to be, and I try to force that image as hard as I can to make it what I want it to be. And not all the time can I make it exactly how I want, but I try my best, right? And it usually turns out pretty good. So when I see other people modding, it may not be the best stuff ever, if it's like, you know, a starter project or whatever, but I always respect the fact that someone had an idea in their head, they sat down, they took the time to try to create that, you know, that whole image that they were trying to portray for people to see. So, I don't know, I think that's kind of cool. Oh, we hit another dead piece of snow, so we'll just cross over here. We're actually past our time here, so maybe I'm going to park it on this section of road so we can continue on the next one. I don't know why I call them plow wars. We should just call these Amarok shovel war videos. That'd be more fun. But no, once I clean up this road a little bit more, we're going to have some new stuff coming in for sure. I think it'll make a little bit of a nicer difference. And then, yeah, hopefully a bigger bulldozer is kind of my plan. And then I want to push kind of piles up and do our own little snowy thing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just shoveling and talking. It's all a good time for me, so. But yeah, it's all good. If you guys liked the video, leave a like. Don't forget to leave a comment, because I do respond to your guys' comments. These videos come out, I'm trying to do them weekly. So if you guys have something new coming, just let me know. And we'll try to get them all done weekly, so that I can respond to your comments in a more timely manner, and I won't have months between our recordings and our comments. So yeah, we'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one, eh?